The alien queen sat upon her crystal throne, her eyes scanning the vast expanse of the palace windows. Beyond the shimmering towers of her city, the sky burned with the glow of twin suns casting long shadows across the alien landscape. She was the ruler of a mighty empire, feared and respected across countless star systems. Her people followed her commands without question, and her enemies rarely dared to challenge her. Yet today a restlessness stirred within her. Rumors had reached her ears, whispered among the spies and scouts of her empire. Stories of strange beings from a distant world, beings called humans, circulated in secret corners of the galaxy. These humans, it was said, were unlike any creature she had ever encountered. They were said to possess incredible strength, quick minds, and the courage to face impossible odds. The Queen had dismissed these tales as mere legends. Humans were distant, scattered, and supposedly fragile compared to the mighty alien races she had encountered. Yet the whispers persisted, growing louder with each passing day. Advisors and generals cautioned her, speaking of the humans as though they were a growing storm on the horizon. "They are myths, nothing more," the Queen said, her voice calm but firm, cutting through the council chamber. "No human has ever been seen beyond their own star systems. Why should I fear stories told by those who seek attention?" Her generals nodded, though some exchanged uncertain glances. They had seen many threats rise and fall across the galaxy, and a species with unknown capabilities was always cause for caution. But none dared challenge the Queen openly. Meanwhile, far across the void of space, a human fleet moved steadily toward the Queen's domain. Among them was Captain Ethan, a seasoned human warrior with a reputation for courage and intelligence. Unlike many of his peers, Ethan did not rely solely on brute force. He studied his surroundings, assessed threats, and found solutions where others saw only danger. Ethan's crew had been assigned a mission to explore new worlds, seeking resources and knowledge to bring back to Earth. Their journey had already taken them through uncharted regions of the galaxy, and they had encountered strange phenomena, hostile environments, and alien species. Yet nothing had prepared them for the mysterious planet that lay before them now. Sensors aboard the human ship detected unusual energy readings from the planet below. The atmosphere was dense but breathable, the terrain both beautiful and perilous. Towering crystal formations rose from the ground like frozen flames, and forests of bioluminescent plants painted the landscape in colors Ethan had never seen. "Captain, we are receiving signals from the planet," reported Lieutenant Mira, the ship's communications officer. "They are faint, but they seem intelligent. No known species in our database matches this energy pattern." Ethan leaned forward, his sharp eyes scanning the readings. "Could be a new civilization," he said thoughtfully. "Prepare a scout team. We need to learn more before we make any moves." As the humans began their descent, the alien queen had already been alerted to their presence. Her scouts had intercepted a small group of human ships at the edge of her territory. The queen's interest was piqued. She had seen countless alien species claim to be warriors, but humans? She had always believed them to be fragile, unable to survive in the harsh conditions of the galaxy's more dangerous planets. Yet now, here they were, intruding on her empire without fear, moving through her space as if it belonged to them. Something about that confidence unsettled her. She decided to observe them herself. In the council chamber, she activated the surveillance arrays focusing on the humans' landing site. From her vantage point, she could see their small group navigating the crystalline landscape. They moved carefully but with purpose, scanning the terrain, avoiding dangers that could easily have destroyed them. The Queen leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. One human, taller than the others and moving with a quiet authority, caught her attention. He did not shout orders or rush forward recklessly. Instead, he studied the environment, directed his team with precise instructions, and handled unexpected obstacles with calm efficiency. "Captain Ethan," her advisor whispered, recognizing the human from intercepted records. "They say he is a warrior of legend among humans. If he is truly here..." The Queen raised her hand, silencing him. "Do not speak of legends. Observe. Watch what he does. That is how one truly measures a warrior." Hours passed as the humans explored the area. They encountered alien predators, strange plants with defensive mechanisms, and unstable terrain. Each challenge was met with intelligence, bravery, and teamwork. Ethan led his team through each obstacle, showing not just skill but patience and care for his companions. The Queen found herself leaning closer to the display, unable to look away. Every action of the humans contradicted the stories she had been told. They were not reckless or weak. They were disciplined, resourceful, and remarkably strong. Suddenly, one of the humans triggered a device left behind by a previous alien expedition. A trap designed to capture intruders activated, releasing a swarm of robotic guardians. The humans reacted immediately. While the Queen's soldiers might have panicked or attacked blindly, Ethan directed his team strategically. They used the environment, improvised defenses, and clever maneuvers to disable the guardians without unnecessary damage. The Queen's eyes widened. She had expected chaos, blood, and destruction. Instead, she witnessed controlled precision and courage. The humans were alive, unharmed, and their mission continued. "This is no myth," she murmured almost to herself. Her advisors looked at her in surprise. He is real. And if one human is like this, I must consider the possibility that the legends were true." Meanwhile, Ethan and his team continued their exploration, unaware of the Queen's scrutiny. They mapped the area, collected samples, and communicated with one another with quiet efficiency. Despite the dangers, their morale remained high, fueled by trust in their leader and confidence in each other. As night fell on the alien planet, the twin suns disappearing below the horizon, Ethan gathered his team to set up a temporary camp. He looked at the strange landscape, the glowing plants and the towering crystals, knowing that tomorrow would bring new challenges. "Captain," Mira said softly, "we're being watched. I picked up signals someone is observing us, but they haven't made contact." Ethan frowned, considering the possibilities. "Could be another alien species," he said. "Or it could be the planet itself reacting to us. Either way, we stay alert. We do not make the first move unless we must." Far above, in her observation chamber, the alien queen watched the humans settle for the night. She had made a decision. She would not act hastily. Instead, she would continue to observe, to understand these beings. If the humans were as formidable as they appeared, it would be wise to learn their strengths before confronting them. Yet beneath her calm exterior, a spark of curiosity had ignited. Humans were unpredictable, resourceful, and unlike any species she had ever encountered. She had always believed her empire to be unmatched in skill and intelligence, but these humans, perhaps they were capable of more than she had imagined. As the night deepened, the Queen stood silently, her mind racing. If humans were real, if they possessed the courage and wisdom that Ethan had shown, then the galaxy was about to change in ways she could not yet comprehend. Legends were no longer enough. She would have to face the truth and prepare for what might come. For Ethan and his crew, the night passed without incident, but the sense of being watched lingered. They were explorers, warriors, and survivors, and they were about to discover that the galaxy held challenges far greater than they had ever imagined. And the alien queen, who had dismissed humans as myths, would soon learn that some legends were rooted in truth, and that facing a human warrior could change everything she believed about strength, courage, and the possibilities of life in the stars. The next morning, the alien world greeted Ethan and his crew with a strange, vibrant light. The twin suns rose slowly over the crystalline mountains, scattering reflections across the terrain like 1,000 tiny stars. The humans prepared to continue their exploration, unaware that the alien queen herself had dispatched a small observation squad to monitor their movements more closely. Ethan led his team cautiously through a forest of luminous plants. The trees glowed with soft, shifting colors, and strange creatures scuttled among the undergrowth, watching from hidden places. The atmosphere was beautiful but deceptive. Ethan knew that appearances could hide danger, and he kept his team alert. "Captain," said Lieutenant Mira, "the sensors show movement ahead. It doesn't match any known species in our database. Could be another intelligent life form." Ethan nodded, signaling for the team to slow down. "Stay quiet. Keep your weapons ready, but don't make the first move. Let's see what we're dealing with." As they advanced, the humans came upon a wide clearing. In the center stood a massive alien machine, half buried in the ground, pulsing with strange energy. Ethan crouched beside it, examining the strange markings. "This looks ancient," he said. "Probably a relic from a previous civilization. But it's still active. That energy reading is strong." Suddenly, from the shadows of the forest, a group of the Queen's elite warriors emerged. They were fast, armored, and precise, moving in formation. Their intent was clear: They wanted to capture the humans and eliminate any threat before the Queen herself became involved. "Team, contact," Ethan whispered. But before any weapons were drawn, he raised his hand. "Wait, observe their pattern. Understand it first." The humans studied the alien warriors carefully. Unlike many species they had encountered, these fighters were disciplined but predictable. Their attacks were swift and coordinated, but they lacked creativity. Ethan made quick calculations in his mind, analyzing their movements and predicting their next steps. "Move to the left. Take cover behind those crystals," he commanded, pointing toward the jagged formations nearby. The humans followed with precision, avoiding direct confrontation while maintaining control of the situation. The alien warriors advanced aggressively, but Ethan's strategy worked. Using the terrain, the humans diverted the attackers' attention, creating confusion among their ranks. Ethan seized the moment, disabling their communication devices with carefully aimed shots, rendering them disorganized. From her observation post high above, the alien queen watched silently. Her interest grew with each passing moment. The humans were clever. They did not rely solely on strength. They used strategy, intelligence, and teamwork to overcome obstacles. The Queen had never witnessed anything like this. Her empire's warriors were powerful, but they rarely combined skill and cunning in such a seamless way. "Captain Ethan," she muttered, almost unconsciously, as she observed him coordinate his team. "The humans are real, and more dangerous than I imagined." Back in the clearing, Ethan noticed the alien warriors retreating, regrouping for another attempt. He knew that prolonged engagement would risk unnecessary damage and injury. "We need to neutralize this without killing them," he said. "Find the weak points in their formation. We'll disable them and move on." The humans executed the plan with precision. They used traps, environmental hazards, and quick maneuvers to disrupt the alien attackers. Each move was calculated, each decision careful. Soon the alien warriors were incapacitated, disarmed, and unable to continue the fight. Ethan's team exhaled in relief. "That was close," Mira said, wiping sweat from her forehead. "But they're still alive." "I didn't expect that." Ethan shook his head. "We don't destroy what isn't a threat. This is about understanding and survival, not needless violence. Keep moving." Meanwhile, the Queen's curiosity deepened. She could not dismiss the humans as mere warriors. They were problem solvers, leaders, and capable of adapting to anything the environment or her warriors threw at them. For the first time, she felt uncertainty. How should she respond to a species that seemed to defy all expectations? She decided to test them herself. If humans were capable of the intelligence and courage she had observed, then they must face a challenge that would truly measure their abilities. She sent a controlled obstacle ahead of them, designed not to harm but to evaluate their resourcefulness. Ethan's sensors picked up the anomaly first, a massive chasm with energy barriers crisscrossing it. Clearly a sophisticated mechanism meant to block passage. He studied it carefully. "This isn't natural," he said. "Someone wants us to stop, but I don't think they want us destroyed. Observe and find a way through." The team analyzed the chasm. Some suggested finding another path, but Ethan shook his head. "No, we face the challenge head-on. That's how we learn and survive. Think like the builders of this obstacle. Anticipate their logic." They worked together, testing the energy patterns, adjusting their movements, and coordinating jumps across unstable platforms. It required trust, timing, and precision. Any misstep could lead to injury, but the humans moved with confidence, relying on each other's skills. Above, the Queen observed every action. Her expectations were being challenged. She had assumed humans would fail, that their physical prowess would not match the complexity of the test. Yet Ethan's team adapted, analyzed, and executed flawlessly. She felt a grudging respect for them growing within her. Finally, the humans reached the far side of the chasm. They paused, looking back at the obstacle they had overcome. Ethan allowed himself a small smile. "Well done, everyone. This is what makes us human. We adapt, we survive, and we succeed together." The Queen leaned back, her mind racing. The humans were not mere myths. They were more than her empire's warriors, more than the legends suggested. They combined courage, intelligence, and teamwork in a way that no other species she had encountered could match. The following day, Ethan's team continued their exploration. They came upon ruins of an ancient alien city, partially buried beneath the crystalline landscape. Strange symbols and structures hinted at a civilization that had once thrived here. Ethan led his team carefully, examining each artifact, recording every detail. As they explored, the Queen's presence became more direct. She arranged for a controlled encounter, one where Ethan would be aware of an opponent, but the environment itself would test his skill and ingenuity. She wanted to see how a human warrior faced not just other beings, but the challenges of an alien world itself. The encounter began when Ethan noticed unusual energy readings from a nearby valley. Curious and cautious, he led his team forward. Suddenly, walls of energy rose around them, trapping them in a natural arena the Queen had designed. The air shimmered with alien energy, and the terrain shifted subtly underfoot. "Looks like someone wants to test us," Ethan said calmly. "Stay alert, watch the environment, and trust your instincts." The humans navigated the shifting terrain, avoiding traps, adjusting to sudden changes, and using their surroundings to their advantage. The Queen observed silently, noting every decision, every display of skill. She had underestimated humans, and now she was learning the truth firsthand. Hours passed. The humans adapted to every challenge, showing creativity, courage, and cooperation. Ethan's leadership was steady, his mind always analyzing, predicting, and directing. Each member of his team contributed, making use of their unique skills to overcome obstacles that seemed impossible. By the time they reached the center of the valley, the Queen made her decision. The humans had proven themselves beyond doubt. They were more than warriors. They were problem solvers, leaders, and survivors. The legends, once dismissed as myths, had a foundation in reality. The Queen allowed herself a rare smile. She had seen many species claim to be great, but humans were something else entirely. She felt a mixture of awe, respect, and curiosity. These humans had not only survived but had shown qualities her empire rarely encountered. Ethan and his team, unaware of the Queen's direct observation, paused to catch their breath. They had faced the unknown, adapted, and succeeded. For Ethan, this was just another mission, another challenge to overcome. But somewhere above, the alien Queen's perception of humans had shifted forever. And so the first true recognition occurred. Humans were real. Humans were strong. Humans were extraordinary. The Queen had always ruled with wisdom. But she now faced a new truth, one that would soon change her understanding of power, courage, and the possibilities of life beyond her world. Ethan looked at the alien horizon, unaware that he had already begun to leave an indelible mark on this distant planet. The humans were no longer merely explorers. They were a force that could not be ignored, a species capable of earning respect, even from an alien Queen who had once dismissed them as myths. The alien Queen had watched the humans for days now, her curiosity and respect for them growing with every action they took. Captain Ethan had proven himself more capable than any warrior she had ever encountered. Not only did he face dangers without hesitation, but he also led his team with intelligence, strategy, and compassion. Yet the Queen was not satisfied with observation alone. She needed to know firsthand how this human would respond to a direct challenge, a test that would combine skill, strategy, and courage in one decisive moment. On the third day, she arranged the encounter. Using advanced technology, she created a controlled arena, a natural canyon with jagged rock formations, hidden energy barriers, and unpredictable terrain. The humans, unaware of the Queen's design, were drawn into it by curiosity and sensors picking up strange energy readings. "This place feels different," Mira said, scanning the area. "Sensors show energy fluctuations all around us. Something is affecting the terrain." Ethan nodded. "Stay alert. Whatever it is, we need to understand it before we act. Let's move slowly and watch for changes." As they advanced, the canyon shifted subtly. Platforms rose and fell, energy walls appeared and disappeared, and the terrain seemed alive, testing every step. Ethan realized this was no ordinary natural formation. "Someone set this up," he said quietly. "It's a test. Pay attention to the patterns. Think before you move." The humans began navigating the canyon carefully. Each obstacle required timing, judgment, and coordination. They relied on each other's strengths. Some were fast and agile, others strong and precise, and a few had technical knowledge to analyze the energy patterns. Together, they advanced steadily, avoiding unnecessary risk and adapting to the environment with remarkable skill. Above them, the alien Queen observed every movement. She noted how Ethan led without panic, how he predicted dangers and how he kept his team safe. She could not help but admire the human warrior. This was no myth. This was a being capable of extraordinary thinking and courage. Finally, they reached the heart of the canyon. There, standing tall and poised, was the alien queen herself. Her presence radiated authority and power, a silent warning that this encounter was no ordinary challenge. The humans stopped, eyes widening as they recognized the figure before them. "I am the ruler of this world," the queen said, her voice calm but commanding. "You have passed many trials to reach this place, human, but now you face a test unlike any before." Ethan stepped forward, his posture steady. "We mean no harm, Your Majesty. We are explorers, not conquerors, but we will not back down from a challenge, and we respect strength wherever we find it." The queen studied him carefully, his calm demeanor, the confidence in his eyes, and the careful respect he showed for her presence were unlike anything she had expected. Most alien species would either cower or attack, but Ethan seemed to balance courage with wisdom, a combination she found intriguing. "I will test your strength and mind," the queen said. "But know this is not merely a fight. You must adapt, think, and act wisely. One mistake could cost you your life." Ethan nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. He signaled his team to prepare, but reminded them, "This is not just about fighting. Observe, learn, and respond. Stay sharp and trust each other." The queen moved first. She was swift and precise, her movements almost too fast to follow. Her attacks tested Ethan's reflexes and strategic thinking, forcing him to adapt instantly. He dodged, countered, and used the terrain to his advantage, analyzing patterns and predicting her next moves. The humans watched in awe. They had trained for dangerous situations before, but witnessing a being of such power was unlike anything they had experienced. Yet they trusted Ethan's leadership, following his guidance and staying out of direct danger unless necessary. Hours passed as the duel continued. Ethan did not rely on sheer strength alone. He used clever maneuvers, environmental advantages, and psychological insight to anticipate the queen's actions. Every movement was calculated, every decision deliberate. The queen, in turn, was impressed. Most opponents relied on force or fear, but Ethan combined intellect with bravery. He respected the rules of engagement, sought solutions rather than destruction, and adapted continuously. The legends of human warriors had underestimated their capability. At one point, the queen launched a surprise attack from above, forcing Ethan to leap across a chasm while dodging energy spikes. He landed safely, rolling to absorb the impact, and immediately analyzed the queen's next move. Using the jagged rocks as cover, he devised a counter-strategy that allowed him to approach her position without being struck. "You are unlike any warrior I have faced," the queen admitted, momentarily pausing. "Most would have been defeated by now. Yet you continue thinking, adapting, surviving." Ethan caught his breath, aware of the weight of her words. "We humans survive by working together, observing and learning from every challenge. Strength is not just physical, it is in the mind, the heart, and the ability to adapt." The queen's eyes narrowed, reflecting both surprise and admiration. She had always believed her empire's warriors unmatched. Yet here was a human who not only matched her skill, but exceeded her expectations in creativity, strategy, and composure. As the duel reached its climax, a sudden shift in the canyon's terrain created a dangerous obstacle. Rocks began to collapse and energy walls surged unpredictably. The queen could have easily forced Ethan into a corner, but instead she observed how he reacted. Ethan's mind raced. He directed his team to create a temporary bridge using fallen debris, signaling them to stabilize the structure while he calculated the safest path. With careful timing, he navigated the collapsing canyon, ensuring no member of his team was left behind. The queen, witnessing this, realized something important. This human did not fight for personal glory alone. He fought for others, combining courage, intelligence, and care. Her perspective of humans shifted further. These were not just warriors. They were leaders, thinkers, and guardians. When Ethan finally stood before her, unharmed and composed, the queen allowed herself a rare smile. "You have done more than survive," she said. "You have demonstrated qualities I thought existed only in myths. Humans are not mere legends, they are extraordinary beings." Ethan bowed slightly, acknowledging her words. "Thank you, Your Majesty. We do what we must to survive and to respect life wherever we find it. Strength without wisdom is meaningless." The queen studied him in silence, reflecting on the truth she had witnessed. Her empire had faced countless threats, yet none had challenged her understanding of power and courage like this human warrior. She realized that humans were not only capable of surviving in the galaxy's harshest environments, but also of earning respect through intellect, bravery, and honor. "You have changed my understanding of your species," she said finally, "and I must reconsider how my empire perceives humans. You are a force that cannot be ignored." Ethan nodded, aware that this encounter had not only tested him, but had also opened the door to potential understanding between their worlds. "We do not seek conflict unnecessarily," he said, "but we will face challenges with courage and wisdom just as we have today." The queen stepped back, signaling the end of the duel. "You have proven yourself, not through mere strength, but through strategy, adaptability, and respect. Remember this, human. Your actions have consequences far beyond yourself. You have earned not only my respect, but the recognition of your species' true potential." Ethan's team gathered around him, relieved, but exhilarated. They had faced one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy, and emerged with honor intact. More importantly, they had shown that humans were capable of far more than myths suggested. As they prepared to leave the canyon, the queen watched them silently. The seeds of respect and curiosity had been planted. She understood now that humans could be allies, not just unpredictable outsiders. The galaxy was larger, more complex, and more dangerous than she had imagined, but it also held the potential for extraordinary partnerships. Ethan glanced back at the canyon, unaware that the queen had observed every detail. The encounter had changed something fundamental, not only in him but in the way an entire empire would perceive humanity. Myths had been replaced by reality, and reality had proven far more impressive than anyone had anticipated. And so, the stage was set. Humans had shown their strength, intelligence, and honor. The alien queen had learned that legends could hold truth, and that facing a human warrior could reveal possibilities far beyond what she had ever imagined. The next chapter of their encounter would bring even greater challenges, deeper understanding, and the possibility of an alliance that could reshape the galaxy. But for now, one undeniable truth remained. Humans were real, humans were capable, and humans had earned the respect of an alien queen. The canyon had quieted. The test, the duel, and the challenges had all concluded. Ethan and his team gathered near the edge, catching their breath, still processing the magnitude of what had just occurred. They had faced an opponent of unmatched skill, a being who commanded the very environment itself, and had survived not just through strength, but through intelligence, courage, and unity. Above them, the alien queen watched, her eyes thoughtful. For the first time, she had encountered a species that could rival her empire, not just in physical prowess, but in wisdom, strategy, and honor. The human warrior Ethan had exceeded every expectation. She could not ignore the reality she had witnessed. Humans were real, humans were formidable, and humans had earned her respect. Ethan sensed the subtle shift in the air. The energy barriers and shifting terrain had ceased their unpredictable movements. A calmness replaced the tension that had dominated the canyon. Slowly, the queen stepped forward, making herself fully visible. Her presence radiated authority, yet there was no threat in her stance, only observation and recognition. "You have proven yourself human," she said, her voice echoing across the canyon, "not merely through strength but through strategy, leadership, and respect for life. You have shown qualities my empire values highly. You have earned not only my respect but the acknowledgement of your species' potential." Ethan bowed slightly, a gesture of both humility and recognition. "Thank you, Your Majesty. We came to explore, to learn, and to survive. We did not seek conflict, but we do not shy away from it when necessary. What we have shown is not just about humans. It is about teamwork, intelligence, and courage. That is how we endure." The queen considered his words. She had ruled over countless star systems and faced innumerable warriors, yet none had ever combined skill, intellect, and compassion in such a remarkable way. She realized that humans were not merely another species to observe. They were potential allies, capable of great deeds and worthy of trust. "I have observed your people for some time," she said thoughtfully, "and I now understand that your kind is more than legend. You embody the qualities of true warriors: courage, intelligence, and honor. These are rare traits in the galaxy, and you possess them in abundance. Ethan's team exchanged glances, their eyes wide with awe. They had faced many challenges, but the recognition of an alien queen was unprecedented. Yet Ethan remained focused, understanding the significance of her words. "We are honored by your acknowledgement," he said. "We hope to show that humans can be friends, allies, and partners in this galaxy, not just warriors." The queen nodded slowly. "You have earned the right to speak of peace, human. And not only that, you have earned the chance to shape how your species is viewed by my empire. For centuries, humans were dismissed as myths, stories to entertain or warn. Now they will be seen for what they truly are: capable, adaptable, and extraordinary." She gestured toward the canyon, her presence commanding yet measured. "There will be no further tests. You have faced enough challenges. But know this, your actions here will echo through the stars. Your people's potential has been revealed, and my empire will remember it." Ethan bowed again, acknowledging the significance. "We do not take this lightly, Your Majesty. Our goal has always been to explore, to understand, and to cooperate where possible. If we can help build understanding between our species, we will do so." The queen regarded him with a mixture of admiration and curiosity. "Your wisdom is as notable as your courage. Many leaders of my empire would have failed where you have succeeded. You see the value in cooperation, in learning, and in foresight. These are traits that will serve your people well in the galaxy." The humans began to descend from the canyon, careful not to disturb the fragile terrain. Ethan kept his team organized, ensuring that no one was left behind and that they moved with precision and awareness. Every step was deliberate, reflecting the lessons they had learned from the trials and from each other. As they reached the open plains, the queen allowed herself a rare moment of reflection. She had underestimated humans, dismissed them as myths, and now she understood the truth. Humans were not only capable of surviving in the harshest environments, but they also possessed qualities that even the most skilled alien warriors could respect and admire. The queen activated her communication array, sending a message across her empire. Humans are no longer myths. They are real. They are capable. They are extraordinary. Let their actions and courage be recognized. Across distant star systems, her words spread quickly. Aliens who had once viewed humans with skepticism now reconsidered. Reports of Ethan's actions, his leadership, and his team's cooperation reached the ears of countless beings. Humans were no longer tales told in whispers. They were recognized as a species of real power, intelligence, and honor. Meanwhile, Ethan and his team paused at the edge of a crystal lake, watching the twin suns rise higher in the sky. The landscape was breathtaking, filled with colors and shapes beyond human imagination. For a moment, the exhaustion and tension of the past days faded, replaced by awe and appreciation for the beauty surrounding them. Mira glanced at Ethan. "Captain, we've faced so much, yet we've made it. And the Queen, she saw us differently. She respects us now." Ethan smiled, his gaze fixed on the horizon. "Yes, and it's not just her. Every being we meet has a chance to see humanity for what we are. Courage, intelligence, and honor, those aren't just human traits. They're universal. And when we show them, the galaxy changes." The humans prepared to return to their ship, knowing that their mission was far from over. They had survived challenges that tested their skills, their minds, and their leadership. But more importantly, they had demonstrated the true potential of their species. From her observation chamber, the Queen watched them depart. A sense of hope and possibility stirred within her. She realized that alliances could be formed, that understanding between species could lead to prosperity rather than conflict. Humans had proven themselves not through domination, but through resilience, cooperation, and intelligence. Ethan and his team climbed aboard their ship, the engines humming softly. As they lifted off, the planet below shimmered in the sunlight, a testament to the trials they had faced and the lessons they had learned. They looked back one last time, aware that their journey had made history, not just for humans, but for the galaxy itself. The Queen stood in silence, contemplating the future. Humans were no longer myths, no longer distant legends to be dismissed. They were real, capable, and worthy of recognition. And the encounter with Ethan had shown her that even the most powerful beings could learn, adapt, and change their perception when faced with the truth. As the human fleet disappeared into the stars, the Queen made a decision. She would welcome communication, explore alliances, and ensure that her empire would not underestimate humans again. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and wonders, and the humans had proven they could rise to meet both. For Ethan, the journey continued. He had faced one of the most formidable beings in the galaxy, demonstrated the strength and intelligence of humanity, and earned respect that would resonate across star systems. Yet he knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy held countless challenges, mysteries, and opportunities, and humanity was ready to meet them all. The twin suns rose higher, casting long reflections across the crystalline landscape. The canyon, once a place of challenge and trial, now stood as a testament to courage, intelligence, and the extraordinary potential of a human warrior. And so, the legend of humans began to take its true form, not as myths whispered in fear or awe, but as a species recognized for their strength, wisdom, and courage. The alien queen had seen it firsthand, and the galaxy would never be the same. Humans were real. Humans were capable. And humans had earned a place among the stars that no one, not even an alien queen, could deny.